Repeat yourself.
Me.
Okay, we're back. Sorry, folks, we had a little drop out there. You may have to refresh your screens. Of course, if you do have to refresh your screen, you're not going to hear me say this.
You're on you're on NSA's list.
Shh. Don't tell.
Don't say that. It's probably true. So anyway, what I was going to say until I was interrupted by the stream drop stream.
The dropping stream.
Dropping of the stream was that now the information you're presenting is becoming extremely interesting to me. Not to say what you're going through wasn't, but it was just a very slow process. You're gathering information. Now we're actually getting a reaction from the DA, from the county attorney, from the board of supervisors, and the reaction is not what I would expect to be for the benefit of the community.
I am totally disappointed.
So now it's getting interesting, and I'd love to see, even though I don't like attorneys very much, this is the point where an attorney needs to get involved and start telling the board, hey, here's what needs to be done, and if you don't do it, here are the consequences.
Yeah, incidentally, Carol Hutchinson was there monitoring the whole thing.
And she is?
She's the head of social services.
Oh, really?
Because I sent her a memo.
In Lake County?
Yeah, she's a top dog.
Is she a at-will employee?
I mean, she's a county employee.
No, is she an at-will employee?
I don't know what that means.
That means she's a department head that the board can fire without cause.
Yes, I think so. Because she said she worked for Farrington.
Yeah, okay.
So she has to keep.
She has to be very careful, absolutely.
Be very careful.
Yeah, so it's hard for her to make commentary against.
But I asked Todd Metcalf, the Adult Protective Services, and several other people, because there is elder abuse issues, to somebody could come and try to speak to the board and tell them about what elder financial abuse is, and nobody showed.
They're afraid to.
You know, I was shocked that there was no input from anybody, and I gave them plenty of opportunity, and I even went to the Adult Protective Services seminar they had in Ukiah last week, and I met a whole bunch of those folks and talked to them and tried to circulate the issue, but not a peep. Not a peep.
Well, this is where, unfortunately, we get into the legality of stuff and where the attorneys come into play and start handing out subpoenas and stuff like that to make them testify and all that good stuff.
But in this case, I would have loved to have somebody come and just talk about what was talked about at the seminar for general education of what is elder financial abuse.
Right. And I understand. First of all, I'm not asking you, I'm just curious, what is the definition of elderly? 55 and over?
65 or over, but you could be, if you're demented in some way or otherwise handicapped, there's another category.
That's me.
That you're dependent. So it's if there's a dependency or over 65.
Okay. Well, I'm dependent on my wife. Does that count?
No.
Sorry, I'm trying to make light.
Yeah, you're pretty sharp.
I'm just trying to make.
I don't think you qualify.
Oh well. So anyway, appreciate the update and send me that information because now you're getting to the meat of the subject.
It's starting to get exciting.
Exactly.
It's starting. Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Larry.
By the way,
for what you do for the county.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And you don't have to leave 3 messages.
Yeah. You know, really, if we don't respond, come on down. If we got time, we'll fit you in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And understand, we don't get to the office until 10:30 in most days.
Right.
No, I didn't want to
Except Wednesdays.
I didn't want to make myself a pest.
And 3 phone calls makes you a pest.
But I thought this was kind of
No, that's good. Thank you so much.
Okay. God bless.
All right, man.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Okay,
right.
on that
do
note.
we want to take a quick break?
Yep, it's almost break time.
Yep, and hopefully Megan will be coming in. If
I
not,
hope so.
she'll be here for the news, but I know she should be on her way, though.
I would hope so.
All right. So we'll be back in a flash, Lake County Magazine with Terry.
And Pete.
And we'll see you in a few. MC Yogi coming for you.
To all spiritual activists, truth seekers, and peaceful warriors worldwide.
I regard myself as a soldier, though a soldier of peace.
Once upon a time, not long ago, there was a boy who would grow and become a great soul. He lived in India and his name was Gandhi. He believed in human rights and he fought for equality. He felt so strongly that he trained himself, cause he realized first he'd have to change himself. He changed his clothes and decided to walk. Some days he practiced silence and refused to talk. When he was young, he studied to be a lawyer, and then he became a great spiritual warrior. He read from the scriptures of every religion and came to the realization that we're all God's children. Because he understood that we're all equal, he became a spokesman for the people, a karma yogi devoted to service. To spread truth and peace was his purpose. You gotta be the change that you wanna see in the world. Be the change, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, just like Gandhi. Gandhi dedicated his life to the cause, even when it meant breaking unjust laws. He often faced prison and incarceration, but that only strengthened his determination. He said he would make every sacrifice, but that he would never kill or take a life. He used his heart instead of his fist, and he taught non-violence as the way to resist. A peaceful soldier who used his mind to fight for the rights of humankind, but not just people, animals too. In his basic teaching, God is truth. He joined Muslims, Sikhs and Hindus, Christians, Buddhists, Jains and Jews, all the many paths that lead into the light that shines bright inside of me and you. You gotta be the change that you wanna see in the world, the change, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, the change, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, just like Gandhi. Gandhi taught an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, and it takes more strength and faith to be kind. With that in mind, Gandhi took a stand against the foreign occupation of his land. When things got violent, Gandhi would fast, not eating for days until the riots would pass. But the biggest event that made the British halt is when Gandhi G decided to harvest salt. The British Empire installed a salt tax, and stealing salt was an unlawful act. So Gandhi and his peeps took to the streets, 10,000 deep, they marched to the beach. But when they arrived, they were beaten with clubs, but they didn't fight back, instead they chose love. The foreign military realized they were wrong and eventually decided to go back home. You see, Gandhi G was a very great leader, but before all that, he was shy and meager. As a young child, he was just like you and me before he became Mahatma Gandhi. The word Mahatma, it means great soul, and it's inside of us just waiting to unfold. If you follow your heart and act real bold, next time it'll be your story that's told. You gotta be the change that you wanna see in the world, the change, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, the change, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, the change, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, the change, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, just like Gandhi.
I regard myself as a soldier, though a soldier of peace.
And we're live. Welcome back. That was, what's he called? MC Yogi. And, of course, with his partner, Mahatma Gandhi there, doing the little side talking. And that was called Be the Change. And that was Niraj Shag Sawara mix. Yes, I love him. MC Yogi's a very enlightened soul. I mean, he does such a great job mixing up hip-hop with traditional East Indian Hindu music, and you know, he's awesome. So one of my favorites. I wish we'd come back in this area again. So welcome back, Lake County Magazine Talk Show with Terry and
Pete the tax guy.
There's my new bike.
Oh, hang on. Oh, it's a Super Glide. That's actually not bad
It's
looking.
a 77 though.
Yeah, custom
But it
pipes.
looks nice. Huh?
Custom pipes.
Sorry, folks. I'm looking for a bike, so it's
Yeah.
nice, huh?
Yeah, we'll make some more money.
Yeah, it's a little bit more out of our budget.
Yeah,
but
that's almost the price of a new basic
I think
Sportster.
that's actually one of my friends. Let's see.
Anyway,
Anyway,
we have people
we're
maybe
back.
listening.
Yes.
Welcome back, folks. I thought those two guests today, even though Larry's not a guest anymore per se, a regular, I think it was very interesting. Different than our typical shoot down the politicians and causing controversy among many of the people.
No, this was good because we're changing our.
We are
theme.
trying.
Now the elections are over. We're out of the election office.
Not to say we're not going to call out people when necessary.
We are going to have political guests, but we don't need to have them every single week now,
I
like
agree.
we do when there's an election coming up.
I agree. I mean,
And it actually makes me very happy because I want to have us be more of a community-oriented oriented program, and I really just think that it's good for us to diversify
I totally agree.
and bring out, and we have shows like A Positive Light where Joni Lane is bringing in people like Eugenia, who does the Radio Jail program. She had her on the show yesterday or Monday. And, we do have other programs that provide that community link up.
Yes.
But I think we also have to carry that.
I totally agree. And I think there are several people in government that are employees and other facets of our community that we can start.
Yeah, I'd like
in.
to get Scott De Leon back on.
That'd be interesting. He was actually a very good interview.
He was.
When
He
we
was
had
a
him
great
a couple
guest.
years ago.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, anyway, there's so many good people I want to have on here. So we only have so much time, but if you'd like to be a guest on our show, I know we did get a word from somebody who did want to be a guest, and I apologize because we did not get back to him on that, and I do plan to do that.
Yes, please.
I will get back to him. But, yeah, we are interested in anyone being guests on our program that has something to say for our community.
Yes. And you don't have to be good looking because I'm on Stevie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. No comment, huh?
No.
Okay. So we got 25. It's 27 minutes minus 5. We got 22 minutes left in the program. Anything else you would like to talk about?
Yeah, always.
I know.
Always. Let me just pull up my notes here.
You don't have any notes.
Yeah, I
You
got
never
these
do.
notes.
Oh, you're going to go through our news items and spoil it.
Oh, we do.
No confidence
We are
in
going to
me.
be doing the news soon, so I'm not going to talk about some of the big stories, but I did want to talk about some of the local ones.
Yeah, and stay tuned.
One of them being the gentleman that was attacked his dog.
Yeah.
That was arrested. Oh, good. Well, good. Since we're talking about that, go ahead and have her come in.
I'm in,
now.
Megan.
Come on in, Megan. We're ready for
Okay.
you. We were just going to talk about the dog story. So,
Oh,
did
my
you get a chance to go
computer.
by the vet?
Oh my gosh, no.
No.
Oh, short-term memory loss.
Darn it! I was going to remind you too, and I said, she wouldn't forget.
Yeah, well.
Forgot.
Oh, that's okay. Sit down so he can make sure you're in the shot. Yeah, we
We
wanted to get that
forgive
for the
you.
news. It would have been nice to have a little picture of Roxy, but
That's all right.
to see how she's doing.
And I didn't even think it out. I was like rushed to get out the door.
It would have broken my heart to see a
problem.
picture anyway.
I could have had the time too.
I know. It's all right. Don't beat yourself up.
I can.
So basically Friday, the Clear Lake police were dispatched to the Clear Lake Veterinary Clinic in response to a 9-month-old Labrador retriever named Roxy with injuries believed to have been caused by physical abuse. It was reported that Roxy had been thrown to the ground by 35-year-old Clear Lake resident Michael Truscott and sustained a severely broken jaw with bones protruding from her face. Poor baby. An investigation was conducted, and they found Truscott and arrested him for felony violation of animal cruelty. He was booked into Lake County Jail with bond set at $15,000, and he is currently I guess he's still in the jail.
He's bailed out.
Oh, he's bailed out. Okay. So Roxy, though, is currently in the Clear Lake Veterinary Clinic for injuries sustained from Truscott. They are looking for money to get surgery to repair the damage to Roxy. A donation account is in place for treatment and care. If anyone is interested, donations can be mailed to the Clear Lake Veterinary Clinic, 3424 Emerson Street in Clear Lake, 95422, or directly to the City of Clear Lake Animal Control at 14050 Olympic Drive in Clear Lake 95422. And at this time, a report is being forwarded to the Lake County District Attorney's Office for a review where charges are being sought. Now, you actually heard an audio tape of the gentleman describing what actually happened during the incident. I'm not hearing you. Get into your microphone, girl. Make sure it's switched on.
So are the audio's up?
It may not have a switch on it.
It doesn't have a switch on it.
Yeah. Oh, it would help if I turned you up.
Hello?
There
Hello.
you go.
Okay.
That's better.
So, and I want to say this, and if we do do an article, I want to say this in no way describes my feelings on the incident.
But we'll talk about your feelings after we talk about the incident.
I do believe that there's a big Facebook judge and jury going on
Yeah,
right
of course.
now.
Oh, yeah.
He did send me. It was a female friend of his. Says, he wants to talk to you, but there's not really. I'm not going to meet up with somebody I don't know.
Well, you can always have them come here.
Yeah. So he sent me a recording of everything that happened. Like into the microphone.
Right.
Told me everything that happened and then emailed it over to me.
Okay. So he made a statement.
Yes.
That's how it's presented.
And so I listened to it. And he basically says that it was not intentional. And I don't want to get into too much details because I do want to save it for an article. But
Right.
this was not a premeditated. I'm going to hurt this dog.
No, he wasn't doing it
It was an
intentionally.
accident,
but he
but I
did it
think he went too
stupidly.
far.
Yeah, exactly. He did. He went way too far.
Yeah.
And again, he did have somewhat of a reason for behaving the way he did, but it still doesn't excuse the
I think
behavior.
he was probably a little too rough. He's probably freaking out, panic, mad, threw the dog down. But this was different from the case of the Labradoodle being stabbed. This wasn't a
this
cold,
was not
heartless,
a cold-hearted.
Yeah,
Now
I'm
there
gonna
have
beat this
been
dog up.
some. Let's go back to the Labradoodle who was stabbed, and actually his throat was cut outside of his home in the avenues, or was it
Pine
the avenues?
Avenue, which is part of the avenue.
Okay, so they're in the avenues, and the dog got out of its gate and was just right outside the house, and somebody came by and stabbed it with a knife and cut its throat. And the dog subsequently died. Now, the word is that there have been other incidents of dogs being found in Clear Lake that have had their throats cut or been killed in other ways, thrown into the lake, and that the police are not talking about this, that no one is saying anything about it, but they are aware that it's going on. So we could actually have a serial dog killer out there, unfortunately. And there was a report that some guy was down at a gas station bragging about killing dogs.
Stray dogs.
Yeah, and that he's
Quote,
sick and tired.
taking care of the problem. The
Yeah,
stray dog
taking care
problem.
of the stray dog problem. And this is not the way to take care of any kind of animal problem, folks. You cannot just go out on the street and kill people's animals. That's totally wrong. So that's a case where there was intentional abuse, and they haven't caught anyone in that case. Whereas this case, they did capture this guy, and it was more likely an accident than an intentional thing, but he overreacted, definitely. I mean, when you break a dog's jaw, you had to have done something seriously wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's all we're trying to say. And I know that when this article comes out, it's going to be, Megan supporting animal cruelty. I'm not supporting animal cruelty.
No.
What I'm saying is there's another side of the story. It's not like this guy's heartless and
No, but even
was
if he,
trying to
even if
hurt
he
the
had a
dog.
good reason, there's no reason to react in that kind of violence. I would say if the guy is really sincere and not wanting to be an abusive person, then I would advise him to get some anger management classes under his belt, because he probably has anger issues, and if he'd take it out on a dog that way, he could take it out on a kid or a woman or anybody else. Once you react in anger like that, you got a problem no matter what.
Yeah.
So that's the way I'd like to see.
Well, I can't say on air what I would like to do to the
No.
person that was actually deliberately taking rid of the population of animals.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so sad.
Yeah.
It is sad. It's very sad.
Yeah.
Mark, can you throw up some of those pictures off that stick from Bloody Island so we can show people some of the stuff that went on? I think there's like 5 or 6 photos. We can do a little slideshow.
We do have an Amber Alert out right now. Have you heard
No,
about the
that
Amber
got
Alert?
canceled this morning.
Oh, it did get canceled?
Yeah, they
okay.
found it.
I said the same thing.
I saw it on the news. They said it was canceled. It was canceled like a half hour after it was issued.
Okay.
Yeah, so. And nothing
Yeah,
else.
I get that. I don't get text messages in Spring Valley, so first thing I get on that, I'm like, oh, it's the CHP
yeah.
Amber Alert, and they don't tell me when they cancel.
No,
it.
they don't. They don't issue a cancellation most of the time. So what is happening out in Spring Valley? Anything exciting?
Nothing in Spring Valley. It's a boring place. It really is. Well, there is the chicken queue on
Excuse me?
The chicken queue.
What the hell is that?
It's barbecuing chicken. It's a chicken queue.
Oh,
And that's May
I
23rd.
don't know who makes this stuff up, but
They do it every year.
I meant
I
the
don't
name.
attend.
Is it a fundraiser or just a community
It's
gathering?
a community thing.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
the
What day
chicken
is it?
queue. May 23rd.
Oh, that's this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and we were talking about the Bloody Island ceremony, so go ahead and pop those up. We said the potluck was happening on
Last Friday.
it was Friday night, 6 p.m., and they had tribal dancing and they had some good food people brought out.
Yeah, it was a good
It was
potluck.
there we go.
There we go.
No, can you start with the one with the banquet? I mean, the people sitting. There you go. And there's Peter.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh! And there's Flipper, and there's a lady named Sharon, and there's Charmaine Larson, who no relation.
No relation.
Spelled the same though. And Dennis and his mom, and who else is in that picture that I can't recognize? Oh yeah, we had EJ, the tribal chairman, and his girlfriend sitting next to. Her name is Laura. And that was that table. Go on to there's another table, and of course that's all the Pomo tribal people there having their wonderful meals. And it was a pretty good crowd that came out. Probably over about 100 people altogether showed up. And go on to the next one, please. And then they had the dancing with the traditional music. Look at that one, Megan. That's the traditional Pomo costumes. And so it was really nice. It had young girls and young men, and the girls you can't really see them in that picture, but they're behind the guys, one row on each side, and they were dancing along as the men danced. And they did several traditional songs. Go ahead, Mark. Then this is the next day. The next morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, they gathered over at the Bloody Island Memorial. Go on to the next one.
Island to the left.
There's the memorial there. Yeah, Alan Markowski was in that picture. That's the actual memorial that someone actually put paint on one year to signify the blood that was spilled there, actually. And it commemorates the Bloody Island massacre that happened there in 1850, where pretty much the entire Robinson Pomo tribe was slaughtered by friends of, I think his first name was John Kelsey out of Kelseyville. Kelseyville, he actually raped and murdered one or two girls, and the tribal guys came over to Kelseyville and they killed him, and then his friends came back to Bloody Island and massacred everyone they could find. And the only reason that Clayton's grandmother survived, she was a young girl, is that she cut a reed and went underwater and used the reed. I don't know if it was a tule reed or if it was a, excuse me, a cattail or something, but she used the reed to be able to breathe and hid underwater until everybody had gone.
That's so sad.
It is, and it's the only reason that most of the people who are Pomo today survived, because she survived and a few other people survived, but almost the entire tribe was wiped out. So every May 15th, this is celebrated on the actual spot where this happened, and it's always at sunrise. It's a forgiveness ceremony, so it's a way for the Pomo to forgive for the crimes that were committed against them, and it's a multicultural event because they welcome, the white people and black people and brown people of every color. And so it's just very meaningful. The first year I went, which was in 2011, I think, there was 3 horses. One was white, one was red, and the other was Appaloosa, which was like a white and brown color. And they came running up together over the hillside when they were singing the songs at the sunrise ceremony. And when the last song was being sung, these horses all came running completely together. They ran up to the fence, they ran back up to the hill, they ran back to the fence, they ran up to the hill. All 3 of them together as one. It was the most incredible thing that anybody...
This was like pure coincidence?
Totally.
Like, oh, wow.
Totally.
That's
It was just like
symbolic.
It was. And because of the colors, it was like they were representing all the colors of the people of the earth, So they were in presence with us during that ceremony. And when we got the pictures back from that, there was orbs everywhere. So we know that the spirits are there for that
There was
ceremony.
no horses in the picture.
The horses were there, yeah,
Oh,
but there was
okay.
orbs all around
Oh,
the
okay.
horses.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
it was really amazing. So it's a very, very meaningful ceremony, and it happens every year. And we thank Clayton and Douglas Duncan for providing that opportunity for people to ask for forgiveness. It's very nice. So I guess they're going to be doing something else with the American Indian movement to honor Wounded Knee,
yeah.
the Wounded Knee
Oh,
ceremony.
okay. I know
That's
there
going
was
to be
a.
happening in
I
San
guess
Francisco.
there have to be like official powwows, but there was one at Stanford a couple weekends ago, and I know when me and Sean were out fishing, and I didn't know this, but we could hear there's I think it's.
Oh, I remember I saw you
Yeah, I think it's
posting about it.
Rattlesnake Island. But we're at the Oaks, and there's an island out
But
there.
that's a privately owned island. They would
Oh.
not be doing anything
It was
there.
somewhere
well, they
across the
have
lake. I could hear
They
it.
have a roundhouse right there on the Elam.
Yeah, it's probably right across
It was
the way.
right at
but
the
I could hear like
roundhouse.
drums and the chanting. I was like, oh,
yeah.
they're doing something. And so
Yeah,
it's
they
like,
do
because there's a
ceremonies.
powwow in Stanford right now. They're probably.
No, it wasn't a powwow. It was it was probably a dance. They do their ceremonial dances in the roundhouse on the Elam Reservation. You should drive down there one day just to see the traditional roundhouse that's there. It's pretty interesting.
Wonder if it was a war dance.
They're all very nice over there too, huh?
It would be nice if it was a war dance.
Shut up! Stop being that. Now you're starting to sound like that idiot senator candidate who went, whoa, 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 whoa.
No, I was being serious. They need to have
whatever.
an uprising and
They
get their
don't
rights
need to
back.
have war. We need to have love and peace. We don't need war.
Love and peace only goes so far sometimes. You got to voice your opinion.
That's what I get for marrying a Republican.
I'm not a Republican. How
You were
dare
when
you
I
tell
met
people
you.
that?
You were when I met
But it
you.
was the old-fashioned Republican Party that was
There's
based
no
on
such thing as Democrat or Republican anymore.
No, it's not.
well,
So
we're
what?
both Green Party members, so we don't
No,
join
but
in
it's,
any of
it's
that.
the elite.
But he
and-
was a registered Republican
But
when I met
it was
him.
different back then.
Well, yeah, back then the Democrat was conservative and.
Well, we were Republicans
This
back.
was only 20 years ago. It wasn't
Only?
that long
Okay.
ago. It wasn't
Like during
in
the
the 50s.
days of Kennedy, that was like the Democrat was like the more
she thinks
conservative.
we met in the 60s.
I don't know.
No, we're
Are
not
you
that
even
old.
20 years old? I mean, she's. she never mind.
Switch
Hey,
that
quiet back
camera.
the peanut gallery.
You guys are missing some classic shots by not switching that camera.
Anyway,
Don't put a what's it called on me? Don't stigmatize. Don't
A label.
don't label me.
You are labeled. You are labeled. You were a Republican, and you even hid that from me, I think.
No,
in the
we
beginning.
were Republican Party back then was conservative, but it wasn't the Tea
Yes.
Party,
No,
and
it
we
wasn't the
believed
Tea
in
Party,
sound
that's for
economic
sure.
policies.
That is for sure.
Thank you. There was a reason behind my madness.
economically conservative.
Yeah, and I am very conservative.
He's very economically conservative.
Yeah, it's called being frugal, and there's another term which I won't
He
use on
told
the
me
air.
one time never call him cheap because I used
frugal.
to say that when I first met him. He says, I'm not cheap, I'm frugal.
Well, folks out there who
Okay,
have
whatever.
remarried and had an automatic family, and you are used to paying a couple $100 a month for groceries, and the first day they're there, all of a sudden the weekly bill was $300. And this was 20 years ago. So imagine how
Dollars is a long.
it was a long money. I'm like, it was financial shock. They say, oh, they need new shoes, they need new clothes, they got to do
Well,
this.
you-
I'm like,
yeah.
oh
I think my
my.
dad was a single guy and adopted me and he was dating my mom and then adopted me at 8 years old. So he didn't even get to progress. It was just like, yep, she grows half a foot every 6 months.
Yeah. Well, I got Jamila. Our daughter was 5 at the time, and she. Never mind. I'm
well,
digress.
she used to sleep with me. Let's
Yeah.
just put it this way. And I bring her out to Arizona from Miami, and she's with this weird guy that she hardly
Weird?
knew. And mommy's no longer letting her sleep in the bed with her.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy took her place. So there was a little bit of resentment going
A
on
little.
there.
Now she's my best bud.
Yeah, she is. She loves you to death.
Yeah, she and I just, even though I don't agree with everything she does, but she probably doesn't agree with everything I do. But every time I go to Phoenix, we always get together. She's cool. She's a good girl.
That's a dad thing. My dad won't add me on Facebook, and I think it's just because there's some things he does not want to see.
Well, unfortunately, I am a Facebook friend with my daughter, and there's some things I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
My mom adds me, and then that's why I made a secondary profile. I have a second profile now, and I made it so basically if I don't know you that well, but hey, you want to read my articles or you want to see this or comment or message me, then you can join that profile. Because, well, it's like, I don't know you very well. I don't know if I want you seeing pictures of everything I'm doing in my life. Like, I don't know.
We don't have to go down that road.
You know,
Yeah.
my daughter
right.
would not be my Facebook friend for at least 2 years after I went on Facebook.
Yeah.
It took that long for her
No,
to
my
say,
mom
to
and
let
I are
me be friends
Facebook
with
friends.
her.
My dad is just more like, that's my daughter. And when I take modeling pictures and things like that, he doesn't want to see them.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, so we're not Facebook friends.
Yeah, well, I don't. As you know, I don't go on Facebook very much anyway because
Yeah.
it's just
But
it can be used very.
I sent my dad to link to that page. I said, if you still want to read my articles and stuff,
That's cool.
then you can go to this
Yeah.
one. And that's what I refer everybody to now.
Yeah.
That if I don't know you, if I've never met you, then I don't know. I like to keep some things to myself and between people that I actually know and close friends and family. And
Right.
I did take all my coworkers off Facebook. That was a big.
Yeah.
I just decided I was
Definitely
like,
not a good idea to have your friends,
Especially your bosses.
coworkers
yeah,
on
I took
Facebook.
everyone, all my coworkers. I said it's nothing personal. I like you, whatever.
Right.
But it's just, it turned into, oh, look what so and so did on their day off, and then I hear people talking about, oh, this was on their Facebook, and they requested the day off, and then they went and did this, and I said, well, everybody's off, so you don't know what I do on my own time.
By the way, have you done your homework for the news coming up in a few minutes? Good.
Yeah, I read over all the articles.
All right.
Well, we got a little problem with our little cheapy free teleprompter. It's definitely time to buy a teleprompter.
So we need.
We need to buy an actual
you-
software because this actually, I didn't realize, it has limits on how much you can put in.
Really?
Yes, so we're going to have to do
Okay.
it in two sections.
Can you print out another copy for?
I already got her a copy.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
I
in
practiced
case.
all
I
the
know
stories
that
last
she's
night,
here.
read them all out loud. And
Good. Not too many hard words to pronounce this time.
No.
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 Yeah.
And for those of you who haven't caught the news, if you would stick around, we're going to have a little bit of dead space but while we set up for the news
We
program.
go from one set to another.
But what you need to do is you need to refresh your page right at noon, well, about 5 afternoon, once we get everything set up and start rolling. So you're going to see our show, this show, up on your screen, and then it's going to stop and go to a black screen. Give it 2 or 3 minutes maybe, and then you can refresh the screen, and then our news program will start for you right there.
And you have the opportunity of looking at a pretty face instead of an old face.
Honey, your face is pretty too. Don't even go there.
Well,
I like your face.
I'm glad somebody does. Well, my mommy does.
Maybe.
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 Well,
and then
she
we also
doesn't like
have,
your hair.
No,
I
she-
did want to know, we do have a 16-year-old girl missing. She's been missing since April 30th.
Oh, wow. Okay, that one we didn't have an update on.
Yes, the aunt contacted me. We've got 58 shares off the scanner page.
Well, can we get a picture and stuff that we can
Yeah,
put
we
up?
have her picture.
But why don't you
I
forward
don't
that to
know.
me?
I don't know.
We're a news show.
She's not
Okay.
perfect.
If you don't forward me stuff, I can't put it on the news.
Okay.
Okay, Mom.
you.
Thanks, Mom. That's enough, Mom.
Well, there's a
Is
16-year-old
there a way
kid
to
out
get it
there.
over to Mark right now so he can stick it up there?
If you can put it on a stick or email it to him.
Okay, I'll
we
email
can
it
have
to
it
him.
on our Friday
But
news
she
show.
is a 16-year-old Jamie
Well, not if she's
Parenteau,
missing.
from Clear Lake Oak since April 30th.
I didn't see any Nixle or anything reported.
No,
No,
why hasn't she
there hasn't
reported
been.
it?
Is she from Lake County?
Yes, Clear
Why
Lake Oaks.
hasn't she reported it then?
She did. She said the sheriff office isn't actively looking for her, though.
But we didn't get it
Oh, they think
released.
she's a runaway?
I think so. She did last time she posted on her Facebook. She posted a profile picture on May 8th. So it's possible she could have been a teenager who ran off, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't get the same
Oh
amount
my
of
gosh,
attention.
that's right. That's what I hate about the cops is when they say, "Oh, she's a runaway. We don't need to do anything." Well, guess what? You need to do something. It doesn't
still-
matter if she's a runaway, if she's a juvenile delinquent. It doesn't matter. She's a minor and she's missing, and her parents are worried about her. So you guys need to put an alert out there.
Yeah, it's her aunt
And
who's
let
her
people know.
guardian.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Let me see. So it's downloaded, and then I'll email it to Mark.
We're gonna
right
have
now.
to slide out now, so we can get ready for the news show.
Okay.
So thanks for coming in, Megan, and we'll see you in about
5
10
minutes.
minutes. I want to
right.
thank everybody for joining us.
And thank you for putting up with my weirdness today.
Yes, you were really in a weird mood today, but I like it when you're weird.
Well, thank you.
Because we're not your normal news.
No, we're not. Welcome to Lake County.
Exactly.
And we love it.
We thank you for joining us, folks. We'll be back again next week with more surprises, more information, more news, and more things to inform and outrage you.
And more craziness.
Yes. So thanks again. And don't forget to refresh after this program. Give us until probably about 12:03, somewhere like that. And then we'll probably have everything rolling by then. It takes a little time because we got to switch cameras, switch microphones, switch sets, and get everything ready for the news.
And if you missed part of this program, it will be archived at LakeCoMagazine.com under the news drop-down menu, and it's called 2015 Archives. You'll find all of our shows there in the past, along with our news show in the past and some of our other shows. So
exactly.
Give it a shot, take a look, and guys have a great rest of the day.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.